Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back for episode 6 of season 3 of Squid Game. This is the final episode of the series. I can't wait to get into this, especially after the chaos of the last episode. Jun-ho has ran into player 246. Hopefully that sends him careening on a crash course towards the island. No-eul's already on the inside, having killed In-ho's second in command. He's been scrubbed out. She's deleted any information on 246. She's on the inside as well. The only really thing that is still up in the air is what is going to be the conclusion of this final game. Just when we thought, there's the possibility Gi-hun, Myung-gi, and the baby could have made their way out, that was the plan, the final person who had no chance of really kind of fighting back or doing anything after everything that happened, because, oh my God, that whole thing was such a mess. The allegiances that were made, the allegiances that were broken, all the little twists and turns, and then for this final guy who was already locked and loaded and prepped to be a sacrificial lamb. I mean, that was what they were trying to do to him initially before everything went awry. He decided, no, that ain't gonna be it, man. And before going off to the final column, threw himself off the ledge, leaving Gi-hun, the child, and Myung-gi all left, meaning one of them has to be eliminated on the next pillar. Let's see what happens, man. Guys, if you want to see the full-length reaction, you can check it out over on Patreon. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up with the time codes for actually an entire episode. Over there, you get the same thing for all the other shows and movies we cover on the channel. You also get a suggested vote about movies to react to each month. It's just a great way to support the channel, helps do things you do over here. But at the end of the day, I really appreciate it. Enjoy this reaction. To at least leave a like. Drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already, because it really helps these videos out. Huge shout out to the team over at Prepper for helping me edit down these highlights for you guys here on YouTube. And with that all said and out of the way, guys, let's get ready to jump into the final episode of the original Squid Game. Here we go. This episode is called Humans Are ... What's the answer to that question, huh? That's been the entire point of contention in this battle between In-ho and Gi-hun. Oh yeah, because he knows he was on the inside. Yes, that's so good that they came back, because he could corroborate. He's like, son of a bitch. That works too, I guess. I mean, to be fair, you can't be 100% certain you didn't slosh around. Well, I guess if we could actually make it out through the mist, through the fog, that helps. But anyway, I was gonna say, your orientation could have easily shifted during the chase. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Episode 6, Humans Are. I am so nervous to see what the answer to that question is going to be in this. Well, the end of that statement. All right, this will be the true test for Myung-gi. What decision will he make? Damn, well, there it is. Oh, well, I mean, at least he's asking for the child. I wouldn't put it past him to... Wait. He would have to kill the baby if he does it this way. There it is. There it is. I mean, to be fair, that was the original plan to begin with. The bridge will break in 5 minutes. What? Well,
looks like 333 has found the safest and surest way to win this game.
I am... What is this guy screaming about? Good God. Yeah, well, there it is, man. There's no debating it anymore. He's been pretty solid about masking things up until this point, at least in my personal opinion. I know there's been some back and forth about it in the comments or whatever. But yeah, a full display now. I can't remember if I kept it in or not, but I know I remember at one point I made a comment about whether or not this was, what he really cared about was Jun-hee more than the actual child itself, or if all of that was just a stratagem, or just like if he could, he would, but if he can't, he will choose himself. You know, he'd like to have made it out with everybody, but if that's not going to be the case, he's also perfectly fine just making it out himself. You know, I don't know. I think there's like a layer of priorities in mind, but at the end of the day, he supersedes everything. And he just confirmed that. What the hell? Why'd she pause on those old records? Gi-hun's gonna have to make it past him, hit the button, and kick his ass off. He's also gonna call his bluff. What are you gonna do? You lose the game right now if I don't make it across. Yep. You really want to do that? After all of this, have it right there, and you want to play that game? I'll call your bluff on that.
3에서 1km 북쪽 해상입니다. 현재 레이더상에는 느리게 다가오고 있습니다.
At least somebody's able to finally maybe kind of properly patch him up.
해경에 연락했어요.
Oh, yes!
시간 안에 이쪽으로 올 겁니다.
Hopefully we can hold them here that long. There's something to arrive to.
혼자 괜찮겠어요?
Oh yeah, shit, he's...
전부 사실대로 얘기하세요. 일이 끝난 모든 책임은 제가 지겠습니다. 걱정 말고 하루든 일이나 마무리 잘해요.
Do what you need to do before the authorities get here.
아이 내 노라니까.
No.
내가 탈락자가 돼줄게.
역시 대단하네. 하마터면 속을 뻔했어 당신 연기에.
날 믿어.
좆가 씨발.
Yeah, he doesn't believe anybody could mean something like that after getting through all of this.
너도 아이도 살아.
당신이 도대체 뭔데?
약속을 했어.
누구랑 준이랑? 당신 준이랑 무슨 사이야?
There's no deal. Oh my god. People are so in disbelief that anybody could like actually be a decent human being.
처음부터 이상하다 생각했어 이 씨발.
정신 차리고 내 말 들어. 시간 없어.
그러니까 족가는 소리 하지 말고 애 다리 위에 올려놔.
No. That what? No. Oh, is it the employee records? Yeah. Okay. That's why she stopped at those.
뒤로 빠져.
I would be too afraid. Oh. We're running short on time, man. He's gonna grab the knife and then bolt. Dude, look how disgusted he was there to pick up that baby. Oh, wait. Oh! No, yo! Let's go! Yeah, he was going to leave him over there, making it so that he would eliminate the baby. He'd get them both out. That's why Gi-hun had to make that jump. If he's not eliminated on that final pillar, somebody has to be. So he was like, no, I'm not playing that game. You stay over there so I can eat this baby. Oh, wow. With her husband and... Oh, they knew this entire time.
난 자격이 없어.
Shit. Yeah, it hasn't even started yet. Oh, I mean, that's the point. He doesn't want to start it yet. Yes, okay. At least the pole's gone. Wow, nice. Well, we've been here before. Yeah, he is still adamant. Oh! Whoa! Thank God for that beam. Oh, shit. Fuck. Well... Wow. Serves you right, but that leaves us in a very shitty situation. I mean, Gi-hun could simply throw himself off and sacrifice himself.
Whoa, Peter, someone is climbing back up.
That's 456.
No one's ever won it twice before.
Nope. I would imagine not. I'd imagine nobody's been dumb enough to come back here and do this. He really is a good egg. Yes! That's a beautiful sound, at least right now. I don't like where that's gonna go, but I also wouldn't be all that surprised after getting that information.
마지막 게임이 시작되었습니다.
If she doesn't, though, there's a baby right out there that needs a mom. Oh. The cries of the baby is stopping her. Oh. Oh. Their eyes are heavily and firmly fixated on the boats right now. They probably are not prepared for his little stealth attack to proceed or preempt all of that.
What are you waiting for, 456? Just end it already.
Some goodbyes take time.
Or he's calling his bluff. What are you gonna do? Because there is that idea, we've kind of floated around that, even did half of this to hopefully get that baby out, or to give it the best chance of getting out while trying to also save face. So he's like, what will you do? He's appealing to any glimmer of hope or light that's still in him. He's also, though he doesn't know this, dragging things out. So the forces are on their way, which is not good for them too. So it's going to have to pressure them, I would imagine, to make a decision.
우린 말이 아니야.
Oh.
사람이야. 사람은
No, please.
해경 함정이 섬 쪽으로 다가옵니다. 철수 시작해.
I guess there really is no other way this could have ended after all of this. I don't know. Maybe I hoped naively we'd be able to get out of this unscathed, but I think that's naturally for the show the only move to have made in the end. For Gi-hun to have... Oh my God. They're gonna blow this place to smithereens. I mean, that was really the biggest act of defiance that he could perform in that moment. You could see just even without his facial expressions or anything of the sort, you could see kind of the lament on In-ho just in the body language itself. I think he'll burn all this down and maybe turn himself in. Oh. Man, he's got a good memory to remember his way around this place so accurately. God, I wonder how, again, I wonder how much of this could have been avoided if Jun-ho had revealed his hand when they first started this whole operation. Because none of his shtick would have worked at all when he played as a player. Because he would have seen his face, he would have known who he was looking for. I really hope at least they all get intercepted. Damn, I really thought she was going to grab the baby and leave, but the baby is with Jun-ho at the moment still. Wow. One final glimpse at everything before it goes up in smoke.
4, 3, 2, 1.
That breaks my heart, man. Damn. I mean, they'll find the wreckage, they'll find the base, but no one behind any of it's gotten captured. Damn, man. Fuck. We couldn't shut this place down at all. Oh, wow. That's Gi-hun's stash, isn't it? Wait, what the hell? What was that about? And who was that? Also, I thought I saw a spoiler that Mr. Choi died, which is why I got upset before. Someone's like, man, I loved Mr. Choi. That was the spoiler I thought I heard or saw. For all we know, he's still alive.
혹시 봉천동 쪽 사세요?
왜요?
전에 어디서 한 번 뵌 적이 있는 것 같아서요.
Yeah, funny about that, huh?
전에 여기서 잠깐 일한 적 있어요.
어쩐지. 아, 왔어.
Aww.
건강해 보이네요.
네. 주위에 여러분들이 도와주셔가지고요. 지금은 많이 좋아졌습니다.
Aww. It needed in the end. Everybody here pitched in to help.
더 이상 아프면 안 돼.
저기 그림이 아직 완성이 덜 됐는데.
다음에 다시 올게요.
맛있어?
Cute. So what's she doing now if she's not working there anymore?
여보세요.
All right, her agent, immigration agent. Oh, could maybe the information they had was wrong. At least some people are getting a happy ending, or close enough to one.
그래 연락해.
Hey, aww.
화영!
야, 이런다고 네 죄가 줄어들 것 같아? 어? 망 좀 버렸더니 그새를 못 참고 잠을 자냐?
아니 형님 죄송은 한데요. 아니 그래도 말은 똑바로 해야죠. 죄는 형님이 진 것이 맞.
I mean, that is true.
고생 많으셨어요. 네?
Yeah. If it wasn't for him, man, so much of this would have fallen through by the end.
교도소가 옛날이랑 많이 달라졌어. 시설이 좋으니까 웬만한 모텔보다 낫더라고. 아니 밥도 잘 나와. 몇 년간 딱지치는 놈만 찾으러 다녔는데 막상 다 끝났다니까 갑자기 허전한 게 뭘 해야 할지 모르겠네.
Yeah, having that purpose, that drive for so long and then having nothing. I mean, same for him. So much of his time was spent looking for his brother. Looks like new beginnings for everybody then, it sounds like.
생각해보면 괜찮아.
Are you gonna go back into that?
도와주면서 돈을 버는 거라니까.
아니 형님 말은 똑바로 해야죠. 그
Yeah.
사람들 도와주는 것은
Yeah, I still want to know who did.
진짜 다 없어졌어.
Yeah. The money's all gone. Who took it?
그 방은 비어 있었어요.
Guess In-ho would know about it.
우리 둘밖에 없네.
We presumed they were spying on them the entire time since they knew about all of their strategies.
저도 그랬으면 좋겠네요.
I mean, I couldn't tell you how the fuck we could pull off he actually survived. I mean, people have survived falls like that before and stuff like that. It's not absolutely unheard of, but he looked pretty dead. I think it might have been In-ho, though. Yeah. Wow. Oh. He couldn't. There was still a little bit in there, man, no matter how much he thought he was snuffing it out. Player 222, winner. And he left him with you. And in your name. Wow. Two.
아이고 새벽에 어머니 어서 오셔. 고생 많았습니다.
Aww.
인사해야지. 주라. 미안하다. 내가 너무 늦게 왔지.
I can't believe we're tying up even threads like this, man. Fuck. Oh my god, what a knife.
안녕하십니까.
She heads into China. Yep.
무슨 일 생기면 나한테 바로 연락하고.
그럴게요.
아이, 꼭 찾아서 와야
Oh, remodeled the place a little bit. Or cleaned it up at least. Maybe I just don't remember what it looked like at all.
장사 잘 돼. 들어와.
Gonna renovate the motel and turn it into a business of its own.
진짜 형님? 아니 직원들 얼마나 뽑게요?
없어. 내가 대표 너가 총수비 끝.
에?
어.
그 형사놈이 먹고 주댕이 확 닦아본 거 아닐까요?
황 형사? 아니야 임마. 황 형사 걔는 관상이 이런 돈을 삼킬 수 있는 스케일이 아니야.
Yeah, I don't think he would do anything like that.
송 사장 말고는 여기 돈 있는 거 아는 사람이 형님하고 하밖에 없다면서요.
그러니까 말이야. 아, 어떤 새끼가 가져간 거야?
And again, somebody, like I said before, was more than aware of a lot of their conversations going on in that motel. I think it was probably In-ho, and he's probably taken Sung-gyun's money to his daughter. Yeah.
성균 씨를 아는 사람입니다. 가영 씨에게 전해드릴 게 있어서 왔습니다.
Wow. Now this is something he didn't have to do at all.
이거 주면서 어떻게 사는지 한번 보고 오래요? 가서 아빠한테 전해주세요. 난 이제 아빠가 연락을 하든 말든 상관없다고.
About that.
살 거라고 그러니까 관심 끊으라고.
이건 성균 씨 유품입니다. 성균 씨께서 돌아가셨습니다.
Yeah.
성균 씨가 가영 양에게 남기신 겁니다.
Wow. He left her that. I mean, I'm sure she's got a card with the money on it, but his fucking player's jacket, that is fucked up. I mean, if news gets out about what was going on there and maybe the public starts to hear about it, that might, I mean, they might be able to connect some dots at least, but that's some consolation at least. The fuck? Who's playing Dakji over here? Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be all that surprised, you know, whatever. Is this set up for the American Squid? What the fuck? Holy shit! So I guess we'll be seeing more of him if he continues on into this side of it too.
Let's go again.
As you wish.
But I'm wondering if he's morally compromised now, though. You can tell he's affected. All right, man. Damn. Wow. Whew. Wow. Like, hey, is it the happy ending we all dreamed of? No. It's not, but honestly, that I feel like an ending like that probably wouldn't have fit in line with this show at all. With what we got, I think this is the best possible outcome. It's just unfortunate, I guess. Like, going back into this, I guess there had to have been some idea in the back of my mind that he wouldn't. I mean, there's a possibility at the end to prove his point, to win this debate, this battle between him and Jun-ho, he would have to sacrifice himself. I feel like that's the only out at the end of the day. There was definitely a version of this where a lot of that didn't come into play, and maybe there was more people at the end, they could have made it out or whatever. And we know that he could have easily just had killed everybody and done that, but that would, again, play into Jun-ho's side of this argument, that humans are trash, that they will do exactly what Myung-gi did here in the end when he showed his true face by the end. That whole thing was messed up. And even him, you could tell on his face, he didn't want to be doing this, but he was going to do it. You know, this wasn't the outcome he wanted, but he's going to choose himself over everybody else. And it's probably going to eat him alive. I think if he did do it, he'd have the money and he'd live the rest of his days with that weighing on his soul. Because, like, even then, when he was holding the baby over the thing, like, you could see, like, the hesitation and the pain. But he would do it. I completely buy by this point that he would have gone through with it, though. And that's the hard part, is that that's the thing Jun-ho's trying to force Gi-hun to come to terms with, is that people will do, and knowingly do, the most fucked up and heinous things to each other to guarantee their own survival and their own making out of this. But at the end of the day, Gi-hun stood up in the face of all of this and said, no, I won't do that. We are not all like that. You can't paint us all with such a broad stroke. Will people? Certainly. Will everybody? No. And I think more than even in the first game, especially the first game, we saw so much more evidence of human compassion in this round, in this lineup of players. From the mother, her son, Jun-hee, Hyun-ju, hell, even like Semi and Min-soo. Those were the people that rallied behind Gi-hun in the end. And even like put themselves on the chopping block to help get him through to this point, to uphold that promise, to get that baby out. You could see when Gi-hun stood there looking off into the distance when it finally came down to that moment, he knew he was watching. You could even see, like, even with the mask on, like, just in his body language, he was like, wow, shit, this is not how I thought this was gonna go. Like, he felt like, again, like all the things that I said about it, like Gi-hun is like pure proof, one, that his beliefs are wrong, but also that he can only blame himself now for the things that he did. If the world is the way it is, if people are the way they are, if all of them are stripped down to what he thinks they are and has described them as, he can't really take responsibility for his heinous actions and the things that he did to survive. It almost excuses them because it's just the way the world is. You know, it takes a little bit of that off of his shoulders. Now you can just see it every moment of the way, every step of the way after this, that's kind of weighing on him. It's lingering just in these little like soft expressions. And I think a big part of all of that too was the introduction of this child into the games, because that was a variable, an outlier that they couldn't have planned for. And I think with a combination of that and Gi-hun's perseverance and steadfastness in his beliefs, even when he fell and he tripped and he stumbled, he still came back. He didn't give up in the end, and in the end too, Gi-hun sacrificed himself for this kid. And it's almost a mirror why Jun-ho came here in the first place, which was to save his wife and child. So this is almost kind of a second chance for him to kind of go through that again. As much as he was trying to corrupt Gi-hun along the way, he did also equip him with the tools to try to groom him into his own position. But those same tools were also designed to help give the baby the best chance of getting out as well. And the way that Gi-hun decided to use each and every one of those tools was still counter to the way he was intending for them to be used. So by the end of this, as much as he's been spending this entire game trying to corrupt Gi-hun, it's almost as if by the end of it, the opposite has happened. He didn't have to do what he did with Gi-hun's earnings. It had nothing to do with the game or his side of it, because all of that went towards the final winner here to 222. And the fact that he left 222 with his brother is also a sign of that glimmer that's at least been instilled in him, or maybe like reignited, or just like a little semblance of guilt, remorse. This is his way of trying to make up for some of the things that he did. Maybe I'm, again, giving him way too much credit, but, you know, based on their own rules and, you know, procedures, he had no reason to go to that motel and take that money and take it to Gi-hun's daughter in America. Had no reason to go do that. That was purely in respect. Olnam's Island has gone up in smoke. The remnants there have been probably scoured. Like, blown up or not, there's still going to be rebel. There's still be wreckage. There's still going to be pieces of evidence that some facility was there. So I'm wondering how known all of this is going to be, if it ever made the news or anything of the sort. We jumped ahead 6 months, I think, from the end of that, from when the base blew up. So I'm just wondering about how much of that got out. Because, I mean, Jun-ho, like when he was on the force, he was already spouting about it, talking about it. Gi-hun had reported to the police. Chow had reported to the police. Like, it's been like floated around, and now this happens. And then, you know, while they didn't catch anybody, there's still at least evidence that it happened that they can't refute. Hell, they have Park's stuff. I wonder if it's just been exposed at all, is what I guess I'm getting at. But now we're in America. We know that there's a version of that coming soon. I think next year is when that's supposed to be coming out, is what I remember reading. Kate Blanchett fucking is our recruiter on this side of the pond, which that was a shocking little surprise. But yeah, I'm just glad. I'm sorry for going off like I did about the comment before, because Mr. Choi ended up surviving. So I thought I saw a spoiler. I mean, based on the way it was worded, it sounded like this fucker was going to die. Turns out it wasn't even. Maybe it was a typo, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe that was all it was. Maybe whatever. Because I was waiting this entire time for him to die, and now I'm just glad that he didn't. Also, I kind of got sidetracked from where I was actually going on that whole little Jun-ho spiel. You know, we also have No-eul, who has, you know, she's no longer working at the park or anything of the sort, but she has been periodically checking in on 246 and his daughter, who's doing better now, and not without the winnings or the money or anything like that, because everybody at the park pitched in and helped fund the treatment. So yeah, again, another act of human kindness coming in to help this kid. I thought where we were heading with all of this towards the end was with the baby being up in the air and having no family left, and Gi-hun being out of the picture by the end as well. You know, she was looking for her daughter the entire time. Seems like their files were incomplete, or at least wrong. Our immigration guy managed to track down who he believes is actually her daughter, who somehow wound up in China. So at least there's some hope, and she's going off to go find out. And then meanwhile, we end this with him also reuniting Sae-byok's brother with her mother. You know, the entire time she was trying to reunite her family, and that's what led her to the game, to keep funding all of that. And like, even after she was gone, he kept doing it. You know, we saw Song-woo's mom there too, who has been his caretaker ever since then. So we got to like wrap up a lot of beautiful things like that as well. It's just another little, especially after seeing her in the last episode, her spirit lingering on to like kind of support Gi-hun, for that to still kind of pay off in this moment is just something I didn't expect them to do at all. You know, when they left it up in the air, when everybody was like, oh, maybe Song Gi-hun's the only one who knew where the money was or knew about our motel setup. And I was like, well, that's not exactly true. While they never confirmed it until this point, the only way they could have known about the implant in his tooth or their strategy with the ship and the escort and everything was if they had eyes and ears in the motel. We already knew they were tracking him for the longest time. He thought he was in the clear, but even his home base, we had the suspicion of. You can go back and check. You know, I commented on that quite a few times. Like, there was no other way for them to have prepared in the way that they did if they didn't have eyes and ears on him at all times. Because it means he knew exactly where to find his money. And again, it just puts that on In-ho to have gone, you know, out of his way to make sure that what's left over gets sent to Gi-hun's daughter, you know. I don't know, man. I'm very curious, though, because he's sticking in it. He's sticking with all of this, but you can tell like he's shouldering a lot more now. There's a conflict, and especially when he was looking at that recruiter in the alleyway and they shared that glance, and I don't know, it's like it looked like he didn't feel right about what he was seeing, that there's more of this out here, that it's continuing on. And is he going to be the front man here? Is he going to be continuing on? Is he going to be running the operation here? Are they just moving locations because they had the previous one get compromised? Is that how this connects? I don't know, man. But for everybody else that has survived this, we got a pretty okay outcome for everybody, all things considered. I'm really heartbroken with the Gi-hun thing, but like I said, I feel like that's the only real way to put a bookend on his story and this whole thing that started back in season 1. No riding off into the sunset. For him to really stand by his morals, by his side of this debate, that was the only real way I think you could really close the book on it and make your statement heard. Hell, those mouthy VIPs, when he did that, had nothing to say. That was the most silent that entire room had been. Because again, it shows them that they're just pieces of shit. Again, it goes back to what I was saying about In-ho. Like, it's just like this idea of like, if he did what he did, it proves that there are people that are good and there are people that they're tainted. They can't hide behind that excuse that the whole world is just that way. It's a beautiful, beautiful bookend. Like, I have a couple hangups with the pacing, I think, of this season overall. And I really kind of wish that, you know, it was intended to be one continuous thing, because obviously it's, you know, season 2 and season 3 are both the same session, the same game. I'm wondering how it flows all in one shot, but I all in all, I really, really enjoyed the trajectory of this story from season 1 to here. I think it was a really, really beautifully constructed narrative, like the whole way through, the whole idea of it. Everything was really, really well done, aside from a couple of pacing issues that I had here and there. And obviously the VIPs, I think it's intentional for them to be that cringy, but it really does kill the momentum and the energy every time they open their mouths. It's still an annoyance. It's still a grievance, that I can't get around. Intentional or not, it still sucks all of the soul and the energy out of every scene the moment they have some snarky or cringe ass comment to just toss out while all this tense shit is happening. And that's still like a small part of the show, I feel like, and when you're looking at it as a whole. So it's not like a huge thing. All in all, though, the show's still amazing. Like, it's not enough to really hamper it overall. I think this was a landmark in television in recent years for sure. I'm very apprehensive, but I'll remain open-minded about this American continuation. That's kind of all I got, guys. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there and pass it off to you. Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If it did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction, you can check it out over on Patreon. And before we go, I want to shout out Angela Burr and Lily Chan's son for sponsoring 2 of the rescues that we have here under our care here at the channel. Also, before you go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Erica Fisher, Armando Rosas, Ash, Casey Wood, Codename Witch, Damasius, David Furstenberg, Denise Mauricio, Durla, Gregory Toner, It's Mushi, Jade, Jake Cottrell, Carmen Wilmot, Liam Harold, Lily Chan's son, Lindley Bullock, Mandy Sherritt, Muggy Holes, Nicodemus, Nikki G, Ollie Hodges, Philly J, Robert Anguiano, Ross Lingard, Russell Crockett, Shilio, Yor Korskov, and your boy G-Man. Thank you guys so much for continued support. Without you guys and the other Patreons over there, we wouldn't be able to navigate all these copyright claims we've been getting as of late. So I really, really appreciate that. But that's it for this video, guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.